my randomized block experiments project. The definition for this, according to our textbook, is the randomized blocking is when you take different instances of what is being experimented on and you put them through the same obstacles and conduct a final outcome analysis. This definition is very difficult to understand, and I decided to put it into a much easier example. So here is our random group. It's boys and girls. And what we're going to do is we're going to group the 16 boys and the 14 girls together. And although they are different people, they're not all the same. You can definitely tell that grouping them into boys and girls will help manage the load a little more. Now, the experiment portion of our experiment is putting them through two different types of tests, and then grouping all of that together. We can see that here are the random groups, the boys, the girls, and then the two types of tests. And at the end of it, we're going to analyze and compare all our data. So to better understand this, we can put this into an experiment, an engineering experiment. We're building a robot, and we need something sturdy and that can withstand a lot of things on the outside. So we chose different types of sheet metal and different types of plastic. So we put them through these tests, the speed test, pressure punches, heat endurances, all things that we would have to put this robot through to see which one is the best one. And by grouping them together, you kind of know how they're going to perform pretty similarly, and you can choose which group performed the best and just looked within that group to see which one had the most favorable results. Now, a really cool real-life example of all of this is an experiment conducted by the Engineering Mechanics Department at the United States Air Force Academy, where they tested out different mountain bike wheels and how they perform at different pressures and putting through different tests that they actually built themselves. So here is how the randomized block experiment looks for them, and here are their results from, pretty sure, the 138 kilopascals. You can see that this is engineering in real life, and it's really cool. It was really interesting to read how you don't really think about that, all that kind of stuff, but it really is a lot of engineering and mechanics. It's really cool. So some of the strengths and weaknesses in using randomized block experiments are, obviously the strengths are you can take a really big group and make it into a more manageable load, and the weaknesses are that sometimes you don't need that much of a micro group, and sometimes if you just want to test one thing out, it kind of renders the randomized block experiments useless. So I think it's really efficient experiment if you're having really big groups and they can be categorized.